Today I'm going to show you exactly what a typical day of eating looks like for me 2 months after having weight loss surgery. I'll tell you what I can and can't eat, how I prioritize protein, and whether I'm even hungry anymore. And I'll compare my current diet to what I used to eat before surgery. I'm Joel, and you're watching Joel Gets Swole. If you end up finding this video interesting or helpful, you can show your support by clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel, and sharing this video with a friend or on social media. A couple quick things before we get started. The surgery that I had is called the SADI-S, which is a similar procedure to something called the duodenal switch. That also means part of my surgery includes a sleeve stomach, which is similar in size to the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. When it comes to my diet, I'm following the instructions from my bariatric center. I'm not trying to give medical or nutritional advice, so be sure to consult your doctor or nutritionist for your own situation. The type of diet I'm trying to eat is a high protein and relatively low fat and low sugar diet. I'm still keeping things pretty soft. I'm avoiding anything too crunchy or fibrous, and I'm not eating any refined grains like bread, pasta, or rice. I'm mainly drinking water and Crystal Light tea, and I'm avoiding any carbonated beverages. It's also worth remembering where I am in the diet progression. After surgery, I had 2 days of clear liquids, followed by 2 weeks of a full liquid diet. Then there was 2 weeks of a pureed diet, and then 2 weeks of a soft diet. And now I'm in the normal bariatric diet phase. All right, with that out of the way, let's start with breakfast. My go-to way to start most days is a breakfast smoothie. I typically don't want a super heavy breakfast first thing in the morning, so a smoothie is a great way to get a good amount of protein in right at the beginning of the day. My usual smoothie starts with a cup of unsweetened almond milk, then I add half a banana, I add a scoop of protein powder. I'm currently using Optimum Nutrition, which I like pretty well, but there are lots of other options out there. Then I add 2 tablespoons of the PB Fit powdered peanut butter, and then if I have it, I'll add a cup of spinach. I'm not supposed to eat raw veggies just yet, as most of them are a little too fibrous, so adding spinach is a great way to get in a bonus serving of veggies. Then I'll finish up with some ice, blend it up, and that is my breakfast. It makes quite a large smoothie, and I can finish the whole thing, but I definitely need to pace myself. I can't just start chugging it. I'll usually sit at my desk and drink it over 20 to 25 minutes in the morning. Now, typically I'm not tracking every single meal, but if I was, the 2 most important metrics that I want to pay attention to are protein and overall calories. Again, I'm trying to stay low fat and low sugar, but there's not a particular number I'm trying to hit or anything. So here's the numbers for my smoothie. So it's about 270 calories and 34 grams of protein. So the smoothie is quite filling, and I typically don't have a mid-morning snack. I do have a big cup of water at my desk, and I'm sipping that throughout the morning and throughout the day to stay hydrated. So that brings me to lunch. By this time, I'm decently hungry, and that's one thing that surprised me at first. Before having surgery, I'd heard several people say that they no longer felt hungry after surgery, and that's just not been the case for me. It definitely takes much less food to fill me up when I'm hungry, and I do feel full for longer, but I can still feel very hungry at times, especially if I go too long without eating. So one lunch I've been having pretty often is a tuna avocado bowl. I actually used to eat this back when I was on a low carb diet years ago, and I thought I would try it once I hit the pureed stage, and it's actually worked out very well. So it's really simple. It's basically half a can of tuna mixed with a small avocado. If the avocado is a larger one, I might do half, but these were mini avocados and they work perfectly. So I mix that up together, I drop it in my air fryer to heat it up, and then when it comes out, I top it with some reduced fat, cheese, and my favorite condiment, sriracha. So this lunch is 350 calories and 30 grams of protein. I take my time eating this. It probably takes me half an hour or so to eat this because it is quite filling. I don't always finish the whole thing, but I have, and it is quite good. So that leads us to the afternoon snack, and something I have quite often is Greek yogurt. I like the Oikos 000, and all the flavors are pretty good. I'm partial to strawberry. As you can see, it is 90 calories and it has 15 grams of protein, so it's a really good snack and very bariatric friendly. So that leads us to dinner, and this is the meal that has the most variety. I'm typically pretty locked in on my breakfast and lunches, but for dinner, I tend to experiment a little more with some different foods. It could be something with ground beef, it could be fish or a seafood of some kind, but I would say the most common dinner I have is some kind of a chicken bowl. So before surgery, I would eat chicken and rice bowls all the time. But since I'm not eating rice for the first few months after surgery, I've been using a little bit of quinoa instead of rice. and that's been working pretty well. So a really simple chicken bowl that I do pretty often is just 3 or 4 ounces of diced chicken from Tyson. It's really nice that it's pre-cooked, so it heats up in the microwave really fast. I'll also add some spinach and a little bit of broth so things aren't too dry. Then I add half a cup of cooked quinoa, a bit of cheese, and the mandatory topping of sriracha. So this dinner was 280 calories and 26 grams of protein. And I do usually like to end the day with something a little sweet. Often that's just a sugar-free Jell-O pudding. But if I need a little bit more protein, I've also done a bit of Carb Smart ice cream mixed with some Fairlife protein shake. I do measure the ice cream, so I'm not going too crazy, but this is a great way to end the day with something a little sweet and also a bit more protein. So adding up all the food I had on this day totals to 1,140 calories and 122 grams of protein. Now, before surgery, if you told me to eat 1,100 calories a day, I probably could do it for a little while, but I would be hungry all the time and it would be so easy to overeat. And now, after surgery, 1,100 calories is very filling for me. At this point, I would struggle to eat much more than that. One tip that I have that I've tried to incorporate in this is try focusing on a protein source and then build a meal around that. Now, this will be a little embarrassing for me, but I wanted to compare what I'm currently eating to the kind of food that I used to eat while working my way up to my heaviest weight of 435 pounds. Now, keep in mind there were many times where I would be on a diet of some kind, so I definitely didn't eat like this all the time. But if I wasn't really paying attention to my food and overindulging a little bit, I would have something like a big bowl of cereal for breakfast, maybe a Chick-fil-A meal for lunch, with a large fry and extra Chick-fil-A sauce. For dinner, I used to make this pasta dish using 2 packets of ramen noodles and a fried chicken patty. And late at night is when I could really struggle with overeating. I could easily destroy a sleeve of Oreos, and I would usually dip them in peanut butter. So when I added all those foods into a calorie tracker, I was shocked to see that I would have been eating nearly 5,000 calories in a single day. That included over 500 carbs, almost 250 grams of fat, and barely more protein than I'm currently eating with 1/5 of the calories. Now, when I see those numbers, it's really not surprising that I ended up as heavy as I was, but if you would have asked me at the time, I didn't think I was vastly overeating. I probably would have said I'm overindulging a little bit or I need to cut back, but that's one thing the surgery is doing, is really forcing me to reconsider things like food quality and portion sizes and what a reasonable portion of food actually is. So now you know what I can eat in a day 2 months after having weight loss surgery. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.